Okay, Abusuya Akwatia by elections. NDC a year and paying for Eddie a year NPP. Former appointees nibi and NPP leaders nibi at wanted list so ewo Akwatia Abusuya enye asem kitu akra. Intino oye NPP leader and I say oye NPP former appointee na HSA oye involved in a year criminalities o case ewo court scandals bi a odin ewo mu no abusua ye de san kwofo ni nyina ato wanted list so say ombepie mu ewo Akwatia national securities anase BNI anase IGP ne nkwofo ebe arrest san kwofo na ya place omodin ewo wanted list so say eni kwan say omoba Akwatia omunya ba Akwatia say kim yebe arrest your Mustafa Bandi ede ensembi ababetuja afa ho unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabi aha Ghana Politics Avenue so and don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be ya any updates bi a drop bi no onso onsa ebe to me aka medamase
with the Peace Council and their own commitment as well to peace. Mr. Bande, let's just get to him right now. Thank you very much for joining us here on News Central. Your colleagues in the NPP, they've raised quite a number of concerns about the police presence here and the fact that they do not want to see marked police officers here and are asking as well for the disclosures of all of the personnel who will be safeguarding this election. Are you, on your part, also willing to support this call for peace to prevail during this by-election?
This is not an election to negotiate peace. It will be peaceful anyway, by force, by crook, by hook. The NPP is now acceding to politics of excuses and accusation. They have not been here. They only came to this constituency 3 days ago. We have been here in the last 3 weeks. So if you only came a few days ago, tomorrow is election, you are now making complaints. In any case, who are the masked police officers they are talking about? For any violence that have happened elsewhere, we have always known who the people are. So for them to be talking about masked police officers is cartoon lioning. They are speaking to what doesn't exist just to scare people in Accra as if there's something wrong here. There's nothing wrong here. Look, we are fully in charge of this election. Every single process, we have taken full control. All political parties are aware as far as the NPP is concerned. We are cooperating with the police to ensure that the right thing is done. Beyond that, the police have made it known to all of us that the military do not have a role in this election. However, they will be on standby as we have always done. That convention is always known to all of us. NPP is suddenly calling for names of deployed officers to be given to them. In what capacity? Is it a new convention?
They say they want to know the person so that they can report anybody who will engage in any illicit or activity that will mar the elections.
Who are they? What capacity are they asking the police to give them a list of deployed police officers? In what capacity? You see, we shouldn't allow these people to distract all of us with their ignorance. In what capacity are they asking for security debriefing in terms of list of deployed personnel? We all know that every single police officer that is supposed to be on duty as far as the election would have their name tag deployed. In fact, we also know specific uniforms that they use, normally different from the traditional police officers on that day. So what is new? What has changed? This is a song of excuses. They know they have lost the election. They will try to distract, but we will hold them to the right thing.
Let's talk that meeting with the Peace Council is expected a lot later this afternoon, 2 p.m. On your part, what is the commitment you're taking into this meeting with the Peace Council?
We are here to protect votes. And we are here to ensure that for the first time, at least, we'll have a by-election without violence. That is our hope. We know that people will try to do certain skirmishes. The police, from what I do know, are ready to combat or to crack the whip on political violence. And so we are cooperating with them to ensure that is done. I can also assure the NPP that They can't do nothing. They will not be left with any room to maneuver.
And by that, what do you mean?
What I mean is that they will not be. We are not here to do their bidding. We are here to do our bidding. We are here to win the election. And so they will not have us discuss what affects them. They will adhere to the rules of election. They will not be given any room. Look, I hear they are complaining about. I hear they have brought up their retired police officers who have aligned to NPP. The human being was in police service, couldn't do anything. Will he do anything on his retirement? They can't do nothing.
So, right. On your part, the assurance is that as a party in government, you're going to ensure this by-election is free of violence.
Yes, it's a legacy for us to do this election violence-free. And so that is what we are adhering to. You can see how peaceful the atmosphere looks. Does it look like anybody is preparing violence here? But since yesterday, they brought some people to Junase. They brought some people to Kobrisu here. We are aware. But any time they told me, I said, leave them. They are here to observe election. If they are men, let them do anything untoward or unlawful.
Then the police will take charge.
The police, they will be ransacked and will be dealt with. But what the NPP is currently afraid of is that because they have a lot of their members on wanted list, they will make noise for that.
That comment you made about persons being arrested here, they said that you don't have the capacity to be making such comments. That should be the task of investigative bodies, and so you shouldn't be sending out warnings that persons will be arrested. Arrested on what basis?
The persons who are on wanted list, they know themselves. If they are men, they should come here. Including former appointees. If they are men, they should come. And MPs who are conducted themselves criminally and cannot be arrested because of parliamentary immunity.
Who is going to arrest them? You are going to arrest them?
We'll help the police to arrest them. I'm saying they will be arrested. If they are men, let them come. We are here. Look, they should not think that the NDC is some soft political party that will yield to their threats and unlawful comments. We are here to do an election, by-election. It's a simple exercise. Can NDC, MPP go back to that transition where we conduct elections and we all play with each other and we finish and we go home? It's simple. We can go there. It's one man, one vote. It's not going to be a one that will allow anybody to double vote. And no. Everybody will do the right. So I can assure you that we ourselves are here to ensure that the election is peaceful.
Thank you. So that's Mustafa Gbande. He's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC as well, occupies a deputy position at the presidency in charge of security. And all throughout the township as well, Kemeni, it's been police checkpoints at different areas as they continue to ensure that persons are checked thoroughly. We've been monitoring that all throughout the morning. And the campaigns door-to-door as well has been going on up until now, all in the build-up towards tomorrow, where the much-anticipated election will come off.
Well, Mawena, thank you so much for the report. And Mawena Egbeta there. Remember that your election command center will bring you every minute of that by-election here on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. But we'll stay on the subject. Let's connect now with a political analyst on the subject matter. Thank you so much, Prof, for talking to us this afternoon. But let's start off, Prof, let's start off now, Doc, with the events taking place or that have taken place over the last few days in Akwatia. First, with the comment that the flag bearer aspirant and former Vice President Dr. Mahama Bawumia has made at that funeral or the 1 week memorial event of the deceased member of Parliament, right? The NDC has responded to it as well, but it would appear that they think that the comment is distasteful. Is this just political campaigning, or indeed you think the comments were distasteful?
Well, I mean, when it comes to politics, sometimes you tend to look at how the situation would work. And I believe that the former vice president was trying to take an advantage of the emotional state of the people and trying to use that as a political advantage for the people to accept that the former MP was through these things that made him to pass on. That is what politics try to set across. But in politics, sometimes you might even wonder whether there's a sense of kind of a way for the dead, and also to use in a way to push people to the wall for them to canvass for votes. And that is what the politicians are trying to do all this while. They take advantage of situation and then tend to perpetrate their own interest for them to get the votes that they want to get power. And I think that is what the former vice president is trying to do, and for people of Akwatia, especially for the party members, what to use to appeal to their conscience, maybe through sympathy vote, as some have been trying to do most of these by-elections. That's what they try to do. And in Ghana, mostly people tend to use emotional messages in a way to send across.
Indeed, but Doc, where do we draw the line, right, between that campaigning and then stoking unnecessary sentiments towards your opponent? For instance, like in this case, someone has died, and then the aspirant says it's because of the pressures from the other side. We can't even call it fact, can we?
Yes, definitely. But politics, they have various ways of trying to get the people, and that is why if you don't have a discerning voter, they take an advantage of that. So the way some of these politicians try to take situations in a certain way, sometimes in the normal circumstance you can't use this, but because of power is what motivates them to use some of these statements or some of these. So you tend not to understand, but that is what they tend to use it. And sometimes it's quite unfortunate, but that is what both sides, I'm not talking about only the MP, they tend to, the politicians tend to use that. It's one of the political strategies that they tend to use, which is not ethically right, but they tend to use it. That is for the politicians.
I see. What we've also just heard this afternoon is how the NPP is accusing the NDC government of using masked police men on the ground. This sounds very familiar. It looks like we're having the same playbook with different actors. How does that come to you, hearing the NDC say, look, we haven't done anything like that? And again, very similar playbook we're seeing.
It's so interesting, sometimes when you are far, you tend to smile or tend to make some kind of, just to make it funny in a way. But in the more serious notes, it's so baffling that, politicians will tend to accuse each other. I think they know themselves. They know how things work. They know how they have been in government, and they also been in government before. So you see, sometimes they play the minds of the people, and that is what the politician tries to do. And so it's quite unfortunate that they will accuse the other side, and they also have if it were to be the NDC on the other side, they could have also used the same thing. So, but I believe that the IGP should try to ensure that they try to make things clearer. No, I don't see why police or even security agents will tend to have parts. I think we have to grow as a country in terms of our democracy, where we have people who have their tagged security agencies having their tag, having their names, and even body cameras and those things in them. We have to move away from these kind of perception that we have some people within the security agencies that will tend to perpetuate party agenda. And I think we have to avoid that. And I think the IGP can improve on that, so that perception, is a perception that has been in these elections and even some of our runoff elections, where we have these marks. And I think we can have a lot of examples of Ayahuasca and some other places where we have these masks. And I think they fear. It's like when you have something in your cupboard, they say a skeleton in your cupboard, you tend not to accuse the other of those kind of things. And it's there. But I believe that the IGP will make things work for this time to avoid some of these things or reoccurring in our nations.
Doc, let's look at the context itself. There are three political parties, three candidates, so to speak, in the race, but it's turning out to be a two-horse race between the NDC and the NPP. What do you think about the candidates in question, Asumedu on one hand and Beidou on the NDC side?
You know, when you look at the constituency history of Akwatia, I think we cannot say that it's a stronghold. You know, in politics, when we say it's a stronghold, you tend to make that constituency or that area as it's for a particular group of people, or let's say for a particular party. But Akwatia is not known. I think when you look at the election so far, apart from the 1992, where there was no contest, from 1996 to up to 2024, each of the parties, that's the NPP and the NDC, have 4 each in terms of the parliamentary. And you know, when you check from the 1996 coming to 2012, you realize that the vote difference between any party that will win is at least it's been declining. In the 1996, you realize that 8,000 different votes, 2,000, 3,000, 2004, that was 1,000, 2008, it was 600 different, and 2012, it was 300 different. Except that in 2016, where we have 5,000, and 2020, we have 1,000, and 2024, we have 2,000 difference in terms of whoever wins. So realize that the differences are not much, except maybe during the 2016 when the NPP won with that is Amase. So that constituency cannot be a stronghold for each that is these two parties. And that is what makes it so any party that will win, one, the constituency, there should be party unity. At the same time, the candidate should be one of them, attractive, and also that the people can identify with them, and also the party the strategy as well. And I think that each side can win the seat depending on how they're able to strategize within the constituency.
Indeed, Doc, your time and insight on the subject matter is much appreciated. Dr. Samuel Efriye is a political analyst. We've just been looking at that Akwatia contest tomorrow. Remember that we will bring you details of that by-election here tomorrow on your election command center. We begin today with snippets from the ground, as you've seen already. Mawana.
Okay, I was going to and some a course so our political highway so a year NPP former appointees and it is a more criminalities are involved in your police or mudin ewo it is a wanted list as well yeah they ama and paying for say deal with some phone if say ba Akwatia wa Mustafa Bandi and a tin can better say moje penny cocoties are in some way at my aha a Ghana politics avenue so better say